Hi, this is Coach Pomai. Welcome to ICE Mental Game Training podcast number 27, How to Overcome Your Limiting Beliefs. What you believe about your skills and abilities can move you forward or hold you back. A limiting belief is a thought you think that keeps you from doing or achieving something you desire. Everyone carries some type of limiting belief around with them. They start small, and if left unchallenged, can turn into big barriers to your success. If you are listening to this, you probably know that you have some. Here are some common limiting beliefs that skaters have. If I don't land my jumps in my 6-minute warm-up, I will not land them in my program. I'm usually tight for the short program and don't skate my best, but have nothing to lose in my free skate, so I can skate well. I usually have a great first session, then the second session goes downhill quickly. I just can't be consistent on my jumps. I skate an awesome short program, but I don't know what happens to me in the long program. I have to land this jump before I leave the ice today or I won't skate it well tomorrow. I have to land this jump to prove to myself that I haven't lost it, even though it's been consistent until this very moment. I'm running out of time. I'm too old. I have to land this jump now, or why even bother skating? The first jump of the program will tell me if it's going to be a good skate or not. A belief is just a thought you think over and over again until it becomes a habit. You might be more familiar with habits as a physical action we take. For instance, you learn jumps by repetition and practice, over and over again. An example from life is brushing your teeth. Most people don't think about how they brush their teeth, they just put the brush in their mouth and do it. Unless you make a choice to change, you probably have a consistent way of brushing. Upper right, upper left, lower right. Thoughts are the same way. You will continue to think a certain way unless you make a choice to change. When a habitual thought keeps you from doing what you desire, it can become a limiting belief. A limiting belief will pop up automatically when certain situations arise. For example, you practiced your triple toe and pop it a few times. You immediately start to think, here we go again. I've lost the feeling. Now I'll have to work hard to get it back. I probably won't get it back today. Louise Hay says, if you accept a limiting belief, then it will become a truth for you. Here are more things. If you believe, then they're true. I'm a good jumper, but a poor spinner. I'm a great spinner, but a horrible jumper. I'm too old. I'm too tall. I don't have the skater body. People are going to judge me if I don't get this. I have to get my double axel before I'm X years old to be competitive, or what's the point? I have to be at a training center with a famous coach or I have no chance. The people who are successful in this are out of my league. You can eliminate your limiting beliefs. Step 1. Recognize your limiting beliefs. The first step to eliminating your limiting belief is to recognize that you have one. What limiting beliefs do you have that are getting in the way of your success as a skater? Get a piece of paper and write them down. Recently, I went bowling with my family. I used to bowl for my high school team, but now bowl once a year or so. I either have great games or poor games, and during these games, I can bowl strikes and gutters. Here's my pattern. I usually have a great first game, a mediocre second game, and then use the third game to practice bowling left-handed because I've lost any consistency in my throw. This time, I bowled a good first game. I started the second one with a few open frames. For those of you who don't know what that means, I didn't get all of the 10 pins down. Here we go again, I thought, and I prepared for my usual low-scoring second game. Then I overheard my son say, okay, now I'm warmed up for the next game. Light bulb moment. I have a limiting belief that is keeping me from bowling great. I asked myself, what is the difference between people who bowl a great first game, then fizzle out, and those who get better the longer they play? Mindset. The only difference is their mindset. It was one of those aha moments that clearly illustrate the power of the mind. The only difference between thinking you are a shooting star, fast start, then fizzle out, or someone who is consistent or improves over time is your mindset. Richard Bach says, argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. Step 2. Question your limiting beliefs. Take a look at your limiting beliefs. Why are they false? What reasons do you have to believe that they are not true? Write them down. Here are my reasons I thought my limiting beliefs were true all these years. By the second game of bowling, my muscles are sore from the unfamiliar movements. After all, I only do it once a year. I usually don't have the endurance for more than 1.5 games. The longer I bowl, the more inconsistent I get. It's just the way it's always been. My reasons that these are false. Well, my muscles must be able to work fine, even if they are sore, because I occasionally throw strikes. I'm trying a more relaxed stance this time, and a more relaxed approach, and that seems to allow me to be more consistent. Step 3. Choose to change or not. Look at your limiting beliefs. What are the consequences of continuing to live by them? In 5 months, if you continue to accept this limiting belief as the truth, where will you be? Is this acceptable to you? Are you willing to get uncomfortable and make some mistakes to change this belief? Now you choose, change or no change. For me, the idea of being warmed up and ready for an even better game struck home. It was such an eye-opener. I chose to change and shifted my perspective right then. Amy Purdy says, "If we can see past preconceived limitations, then the possibilities are endless." Step 4. Create a powerful new belief. Write a new belief for yourself. For some beliefs, it can be too big a jump to turn directly from the negative to the positive. If this is the case for you, break it down into smaller parts, or start at a more general level first, then move to specifics as you change your thinking. For example, I have to be at a training center with a famous coach, or I have no chance. New belief. There are great skaters like Brian Boitano who didn't come from large training centers. I have a coach with great technical foundation, and I'm putting together a great off-ice conditioning, nutrition, and flexibility program for myself. Back to bowling example. For myself, I decided that I was warmed up and ready to bowl even better. It took me a few more frames before I started hitting my mark, and I ended up beating my first game by almost 20 points. Another limiting belief bites the dust. I believe in practicing the mental skills that I teach. Usually I use them in life, so it's a real treat to use them in a sport. Step 5. Practice and solidify your new belief. Practice, practice, practice every chance you get. We all have limiting beliefs, those unwritten rules that keep us from living a limitless life full of possibilities. They come from our experiences on the ice, in competition, and in life. Now that you are aware of some of your limiting beliefs, make it a point to turn them around, one step at a time. Here's your action plan. Number 1, recognize your limiting belief. Number 2, question your limiting belief. Number 3, make your choice to change or not. Number 4, create a powerful new belief. And number 5, practice and solidify your new belief. You're listening to this because you have tried everything else and you're still stuck. You know your thinking is defeating you. Ask yourself, what will it be like at the end of the season if I don't make a change? To build a strong mental game, you need to eliminate your stinking thinking and think only in ways that help you succeed. You'll need to do this consistently, every day, on and off the ice. Over time, this mindset will become the only way you think. Start changing your mind now. Download Confidence Mythbusters, a complimentary ebook for a jumpstart. You'll find the link in the description below. Thanks for listening. Hey, do me a favor and share this if you find it helpful, or shoot me an email. If you want to learn more, you can find us at ICEmentalgame.com or like our page on Facebook at ICEmentalGame. Until next time, this is Coach Pomai saying aloha and happy skating.